guys, it's time to go into our second week, right? I know a lot of our predictions from last weekend, they were very, very interesting. But like I said last week, we're going to take our predictions seriously. We're going to do a proper table, right? And we're probably going to put it in graphics, and we can post the tables. But at least week 1 of FPL, some of us can carry shoulder, but it's just week 1. Let's go into our preview for week 2, and there's so many interesting games coming up in the second week in the Premier League. Let's go to our previews for the weekend, and we're going to be touching on 4 games, 4 supposed matches that we should see a lot of goals, we should see a lot of intensity, and most likely in one of the games I'm expecting a lot of drama, and I will tell you which game at the end. But let's start off with Tottenham versus Everton. And Festus, I'm going to be starting with you on this one. Tottenham up against Everton. Tottenham against Leicester City. That man Jimmy Vardy continues his knack for scoring against top 6 sides, and he's done it against Tottenham Hotspur. Will Everton's loss be something that will ginger Spurs to think, okay, we can take 3 points from these guys?
I'm believing so. Tottenham and Everton, they have one of the longest running rivalries in English football, with their first encounter actually dating back to 1904. And they've played over 180 matches since then between these two clubs in various competitions. But over the years, you've actually had Tottenham's dominance with most of the matches they've played over the years. But Tottenham has historically had the upper hand in most of these fixtures they have, especially in recent years. Let me give you a bit of time. In the last 20 Premier League, Tottenham have won 10 times, drawn 8, and lost only 2 matches against Everton. And clearly, the bookmakers also favors Tottenham in this match. They are giving Tottenham 67% chance to win and 14% chance to Everton. Now, this will be an easy win for Tottenham. I see finally registering his goal this time around. I see this happening for Tottenham, and I'm predicting a 2-0 victory for Tottenham.
Femi, Tottenham Everton will be sweating. They started the season in a terrible way, considered 3 goals, and they lost Ashley Young in the process as well to a red card. I know the manager is going to be sweating. Sean Dyche will be sweating on who replaces Ashley Young in that place. But Tottenham coming into that place, they played very well against Leicester City, but then they couldn't kill off the game. But that midfield, how do you see this Everton defense line that now doesn't have the leadership of Ashley Young, Tarkowski, Keane, Mikulenko, and whoever comes in to replace them? How are they going to contain Tottenham Hotspur's marauding front line?
I mean, to be fair, it's going to be difficult. The Spurs at home are absolutely imperious. The fans will be backing them. It's the first game of the season as well. And Angie has said he's going to win a trophy this season. He said wherever he goes, the first season is to get the team going. The second one is to win a trophy. I think he's just talking trash personally. But if he's up against Everton, his job will be a lot easier than other teams. But what I have to say, though, which is very important, is if you look at Everton towards the tail end of last season, away from home, they were a change source team. So at Goodison, they've always had troubles. But away from home, some way, somehow, they just turned into a different team. But regardless, I think Everton have enough in terms of the core of the team. If you look at the goalkeeper, the back four, even without, what's his name, they've still got they've got Doucouré, they've got Gueye. And up front, Calvert-Lewin can score from a free kick or a corner kick. So I would not rule them out. So I know Everton have a problem. That's the reality. But I will not put it past them to kind of draw away at Spurs because of the quality and the pedigree that they have in their team.
You're serious?
Eddie, it's clear that Spurs, as good as they are, they can concede goals. Can be caught out by quick counter-attacking sides. Is that what Everton needs to do to hurt them? Or what exactly do you think Everton, if they have to win or get a result against Spurs, do they have to resort to quick counter attacks? And how big was Irogbunam? How good was Irogbunam in that first game against Brighton?
Listen, Spurs are going to be eager to bounce back after the 1-1 draw. Everton, I think they're going to rely on set pieces in this game. I think that's, if you look at the stats, they were very good at set pieces last season as well. I think that will be the path for resistance for Everton. They showed a lot of frailty against Brighton, and Spurs might think that that's more an easier way to slice and dice Everton to score goals. So Everton would have to be wary about that. I think this game is more about Spurs is rather than Everton. I think it's about Angie. Is his team going to be patient, or are they going to be aggressive? Can they grind out a result? Can they actually get in front and maintain their lead to the end of the game? Because Everton is going to challenge them. If Spurs scores a goal, Everton is going to challenge them from free kicks, from set pieces. Femi was talking about that. I think that's going to be Everton's part. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to be challenging for every single ball because that's how Dyche's team likes to play. So this is going to be about Spurs. How do they want to manage the intensity that Everton will bring? So I'm going to go with a 2-1 result, and only going with a 2-1 result because I think that Spurs just have the edge in attack. But I think this is going to be a very nervy 2-1 for Spurs.
I think Spurs will win the game, and I know I'm gonna predict a scoreline today. So Eddie will not have my head, But I think Everton, despite the fact that Erogbonam has come into the side and it looked pretty decent, against Brighton. For me, was the shining light in that midfield for Everton. But I think they miss Onana. They miss the engine of Onana. They miss he's not just his tackling, his passing. And a lot of people don't give Onana credit for his eye for a good pass, but that was lacking. As good as Erogbonam was breaking plays and running with the ball against Brighton, his passing was not just, up there like what you'll see an Onana do. And I think that was lacking in that midfield for me. Against Tottenham Hotspur, I think the key battle for me is going to be Dominic Solanke against those two center backs. Dominic Solanke, one of the things a lot of people enjoy about him is not just his goals. He knows how to put pressure on defenders. He's not the biggest of strikers, but he can be a nuisance on his day. He runs off your shoulders. He peels off, without you looking. But I still think the last 5 meetings, Festus was talking about the last five meetings between these two sides. All Everton have been able to do is just pick a point. They've not been able to find a way to better Tottenham Hotspur. And playing away from home has not been good for Everton this season. And they've not shown any signs that they can improve on that. If you are getting battered at home by Brighton, Mitoma and Welbeck running rings around your defense, and why I think Solanke is going to be a menace to them is if Danny Welbeck can be a problem for Tarkowski and his partner, I think it's going to be a problem. Matching a more mobile, a more intelligent, Dominic Solanke, and a more informed, Dominic Solanke in that one. So I think I see a 3-goal win for Tottenham Hotspur. So I think Tottenham will beat Everton by 3 goals. Will they concede? Maybe, just maybe, a set piece goal by Calvert-Lewin. But I think Spurs will win this game 3-1. Yeah, 3-1 to Tottenham Hotspur. Right? Right, let's go to our next game. Liverpool against Brentford. We talked about Liverpool earlier in the show, and we talked about how the new manager has changed the teams around. And Eddie, I'm starting with you on this one. Liverpool, Brentford, they've shown that, but Ivan Toney, we won't really miss you that much. There's Wissa and there's Mbeumo who can score goals, right? But Brentford against this Liverpool side, what can we expect, Eddie?
Listen, I think Brentford will be high on confidence after that game against Crystal Palace, and Mbeumo looks like he's on fire. He looks like he's ready to take on the mantle from Ivan Toney and press on. I think Wissa is a good sidekick as well, and they're very good at the counter attack. Got pace and all of that. So I think they're going to score in Liverpool. But I think Liverpool will be too much for them. I think what I've seen from Liverpool, what Liverpool have, the quality. I think at the start of the season is a lot more about quality than it is about just the effort that you put in. And Brentford are going to put in effort, no 100%. But I think Liverpool just have that extra quality. The likes of Jota, the likes of Salah. I think Jota, if he's fit, he's a threat. He always scores goals. So I'm going to go with a 3-1 results to Liverpool in this game. I think Brentford will play well. They might even score the first goal, but I think Liverpool will score 3 in this game. So 3-1 to Liverpool.
Femi, Liverpool, Brentford. Eddie is going for a 3-1 victory. Do you think Liverpool, did they show enough against Ipswich Town to think that, for you to think that they can beat Brentford?
Yeah, I think they've got enough. Again, like I said, it was very solid unit, same back four from last season. And the midfield improved by Gravenberch, who's coming to it now. And that front three will terrorize anybody. Diaz, Jota, Salah, always on the move, proven goal scorers. Then you got Gakpo, Nunes, and go to Elliott to come in as well. So for me, I think it will probably be a 2-1. I think Brentford are a disciplined side. They're not going to concede 3 goals at Anfield regardless. So first game of the season at home for Arne Slot, he'll probably want to win it, but I'll say 2-1 from my home books.
Festus.
And did I tell you that I said 1-1 Everton Spurs? So let's just so you don't forget.
Thank you very much. Thank you for reminding us. Festus, what does the history book say?
Yeah, the history books, I'll come to that. First of all, I want to give you a bit of history about their rivalry really dates back to 20th century. These are old clubs, but because of Brentford's relegation, and they've not been playing in the Premier League for a long time, so you have a handful of times they've met in the Premier League. Since their promotion in the Premier League, their meeting has been very exciting. A notable one we can always point back is the 3-3 draw they played. If you all remember that match, it was so exciting that it was back-and-back goals. That was in September 2021, and it was one of the most thrilling matches of the season then and EPL as a whole. So they have always had interesting matches in Anfield, but the truth is Liverpool has dominated most of those encounters. Most times it has ended draw. The last time Brentford has won Liverpool at Anfield dates back to 1937. So that's how far back Brentford has won in Liverpool. So I don't see it happening. Now, the bookmakers actually, they are giving Liverpool 76% to win and 10% for Brentford. So that gives you an idea how this match is going. So, their solid performance against Ipswich. For me, I see Liverpool taking this. And I see them winning 2-0 for this.
Liverpool at home to Brentford. McAllister and Gravenberch had a good game. They had an okay game against newly promoted Ipswich side. Ipswich gave them a lot of problems until Ipswich started tiring out after the hour mark in that game. How will McAllister, Gravenberch, and then maybe Szoboszlai, who's going to do a bit more defensive work against Brentford? Against a more mobile midfield trio in Jensen, Janet, and Nogard, I think they're going to have too much work on their hands. So there are goals there for me. So I'm seeing a score draw, maybe a 2-2 draw between Liverpool and Brentford in that game. So Liverpool 2, Brentford 2. Now, one game I'm looking forward to this weekend. I'm so looking forward to this for so many Brighton and Manchester United. And I'll start with you, Eddie. Brighton, Manchester United. United struggled against newly promoted side in that one. Against Fulham, in their match. Will they find it easier against Brighton this weekend?
I don't know if easier is the word that we're looking for. I think Brighton have shown from their first game that they might have found another jewel. The way that they transition from player to player, from manager to manager, there has to be a documentary. I'm sure Amazon is, cooking something in the books because there's got to be something that we don't know. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for Manchester United. Sadly, for our United fans, they're in danger of becoming a team without a clear identity. That's what I'm seeing from Manchester United. Sorry, I don't mean to bash United, but they are looking like a team without identity, without cohesion. And you're looking at a Brighton team that seem to have figured it out. They know what they want to do. They know what players need to do at every single point. So I think this is going to be a very difficult game for Manchester United. I'm going to go for a Desmond, a 2-2 draw. I want to see an improved performance, but if they're not careful, they can lose this game to Brighton. But I'm going to go with 2-2 draw. It's not going to be an easy game for United.
Femi? Brighton United. Will it be as difficult as Eddie has predicted it?
I think Brighton, yes, I agree with him. They know what they're doing. But also, I'm going to take it from a Man United perspective. Against Fulham at home, yes, they were a bit porous at the back for a few minutes, but they sorted it out after like 15 minutes, and then they looked good value for their 1-0 win. The manager's done well to recruit. I like Mazraoui at right back. I'm beginning to believe in that team now, even though it's not it's not going to pull trees or do wonders this season. But I mean, Fabian said he's a young man, but he's not a young coach. So let's see how it does now, because he's trying to tell us, even though he's a young man, he doesn't think he's a young coach. He thinks he has all the experience needed to be successful in the Premier League. This will be a big test for him. It will be his first real big test. Everton away, they could have considered that first goal. If anybody could have straight onside, and that Jack Harrison goal would have changed the whole dynamics of the game. So I'm thinking more of a 1-1, because I seem to believe a little in that Man United team with the way the managers really recruited properly. So 1-1 for me.
I love your beliefs. I absolutely love your beliefs.
He believes so much.
I hope United fans. I hope United fans have this small belief in their team like you do. But Festus, Brighton in their first game, Mitoma was a huge problem for Everton. He kept running rings around that right side of the defense. Who plays on the right for Manchester United to stop Mitoma from running riot?
The right, I think it should be Mazraoui. It should be the new guy, right?
Sorry, on the left. I'm talking about on the left side of United defense. Mitoma plays on the right. So who plays on that left side? Can Dalot? Can he withstand?
Oh, okay, Dalot. Well, Dalot is a decent player. On his good day, yes, he can. But Mitoma is a handful. Mitoma on his good days unplayable to any defender, not even just Dalot. Mitoma can wreck any defense and at any point when he's in the mood. So, Kali, there is this interesting fact about Brighton and Manchester United. Despite Manchester United being tagged as one of the big six, they've consistently found it difficult to secure, easy wins at Brighton's Amex Stadium. Let me give you an interesting statistics. Head-to-head in their last 5 matches, Brighton has won 3 times, while United has won 2 times. So that gives you an idea of recent times what's happening. And in recent times, Brighton has always won. So, okay, even the bookmakers are in support of Brighton here. The bookmakers are giving Brighton 38% chance to win this match, and they are giving United 26% chance to win. 36% chance to win. And they are giving us a 26% chance of draw, of this match ending draw. I'm giving a slight edge to Brighton. I think they will have the day here, and I see it ending 2-1.
I think Brighton will win this game 2-1. I think so too. And it's simple. Adingra, Mitoma, Welbeck will be too much for Mazraoui. Whoever they decide to use Delete and the Argentine, or Delete and Harry Maguire and Dalot, whoever it is they decide to use, I think Mitoma and Adingra will enjoy themselves. Mazraoui had a good first game for Manchester United. I think it's decent enough. But Mitoma and Adingra are going to find a lot of joy, running rings around that Man United backline. So I'm tipping my hat for Brighton to win this one 2-1 against Manchester United. Final prediction for the weekend. Final preview and prediction for the weekend. And I'll start with you, Femi. This one. 5 times Arteta has gone up against former Arsenal manager. What's his name now? Emery, and he's lost to him 3 times. He's lost to him 3 times. How can Arteta take this monkey off his shoulder, Femi?
Well, he almost took it off his shoulder when he went there 2 seasons ago and won 4-2 late in the game. They're going to prepare Arsenal. He'll drum that into his players. And it's not just Unai Emery, the goalkeeper as well, Martinez, he was let go by Arteta as well. So Arteta has problems when he's playing against Aston Villa. He's got people with a personal vendetta against the club and against himself. And 2 of their most important players, the goalkeeper, when they're in his bad form, we all know how difficult the game can be. And the manager, when he's promising his players everything they want in the world, if they can just get this job done for him. So It's going to be difficult, and it's at Villa Park. We know Man City had problems there. Everybody's always had problems at Villa Park, mostly these days, because Emery's got them into the top four, not by accident. For me, I think Arsenal have one thing that I like during this Arteta era. Any team that messes with us will get it. And I think Villa would know that they did the wrong thing last season by beating us at the Emirates.
Sorry, the league is 38 games, not just 24
Oh, yes,
games.
it is. But Man City, don't they just mess around till Christmas, and then from Christmas
It doesn't
they go on
matter.
this team?
They were winning some games who were losing behind.
That's I agree with you totally. Yes,
So
you
it's
got
38
to
games.
look at 38 games across the season. But if you're 5 points ahead with 3 games to go, it's not going to matter that you drew the first day of the season or you won. It's what's on the home straight that counts. So yes, it's a
Femi,
38
let's
game
move on.
season.
It's a league.
It's
If
a
your toughest
marathon.
games are
I
at the
think
end, you
Arsenal
will lose the league.
will win this by 3 goals to 2. Normally, we don't concede a lot of goals, but I think there'll be a lot of fireworks.
Please say that again. Say that again.
It's Saturday night. It's primetime television. It's 3-2 to the Arsenal.
Wow. Eddie, Unai Emery, the man you used to love a lot, against the man you are now grudgingly beginning to love. Aston Villa versus Arsenal.
This is
I've
like,
never heard anybody say anything better like that than that, Kali. That should go into the history books. That is amazing.
this I am torn, right? Because I love Emery. I love me some Emery. Listen, but obviously Arsenal is in my heart, so I have to look at the Arsenal side of things. Arsenal is going to dominate possession. Femi is right. I feel like Arteta has been taking Aston Villa, a little bit likely. If you notice last season, those 2 games, he decided to adapt his team for Aston Villa by playing. Remember the second one at the Emirates, playing Havertz in the number 8 position instead of playing as the attacker. He did it the same thing when we played Aston Villa away from home. I don't think he's going to make that mistake this time around. I think Havertz is going to start up front in this game. I think, Villa is going to be, difficult counter-attack. I remember that's how they got through to us in the 2 games. He really killed us in the counter-attack. So I think Arteta will have a plan for this. And the left-hand side of Arsenal was always the challenge, right? You remember in those 2 games, we suffered on the left. I think that's going to be fixed. So it's going to be a difficult game. I'm going to go 2-1, to Arsenal in this game. I expect Arsenal to win. I think if Arsenal is going to win the league, they've got to win games like this. So it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Festus, what does the history book say about this game?
Yeah, the bookmakers are actually giving Arsenal this match.
No, I don't go to the bookmaker straight. They'll start from history. Facts. Let's start from history.
Okay.
These 2 managers.
Yeah, historically, Arsenal rivalry with Aston Villa, I think the first match they played was in 1904. That was early 20th century, and over time they've met like 200 times in competitive football. Which actually, when you put it together, is making it one of the most storied rivalries in English football. But historically also, when you use the rivalry between both, Arsenal has had the upper hand when you put all the matches together. Arsenal has had the upper hand. But in recent times, let me give you another interesting fact also. In 2021, 2022, remember the trumping by Aston Villa, where they won, I think 3-0. Grealish had a marvelous game in that match, which also one of the matches that put pay to our aspiration, top 4 aspirations and stuff. I think Arsenal will edge this. It's going to be keenly contested, but I think at the end of the day, Arsenal will win this 2-1.
Arsenal will win 2-1. I think Arsenal will win this game, probably 3-1 on the day. And it's not because I don't understand the threat that Villa poses. Now, the last season, we had about 2-3 major problems against Aston Villa. And the first one, Zinchenko, that left back position. If you look at the heat map, I was watching the highlights again, and I was just imagining in my head what the heat map of that game, will be like. It was majorly played on the right side of Villa's attack and the left side of Arsenal's attack. Zinchenko must not start, because how Zinchenko gets carried away. Timber is back. I will take a risk on Timber or Calafiori to start this. All of us have mentioned something that Arteta does well, and that's, you don't keep beating him all the time. You beat him once, twice, he starts thinking about you in ways, looking for solutions. He's done it with Manchester City. We've seen that. We saw what he did with Liverpool, playing the Liverpool anthem at the training ground. The high line that Aston Villa kept against us at the Emirates Stadium, if they try it again, they'll get punished. And so that's why I'm thinking Arteta will be better prepared. The team will be better prepared. Yes, we will concede, but Arsenal will just win this 1-3 goals to 1.